Shock waves are rocking the lakefront today as the coaching carousel just spun the Chicago Bears into a massive midwinter vacancy. Last night it was the front office, but today it is the offense as our very own Declan Doyle officially packs his bags for Baltimore. Can you believe that in just 12 months, this franchise has gone from an offensive laughingstock to a talent factory that the rest of the league is desperate to poach from? Before we dive into the fallout, and who takes the keys to the offense next, do us a huge favor. Hit that like button, share this video with every fan you know, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a breaking update during this wild offseason. The Baltimore Ravens have officially tapped Declan Doyle to be their new offensive coordinator under their new head coach, Jesse Minter. Now, let's be real for a second, this hurts, but it is also the ultimate backhanded compliment. We are talking about a guy who is only 29 years old. He is literally the same age as Lamar Jackson and younger than Patrick Mahomes. Just a year ago, critics were scratching their heads when Ben Johnson brought this kid in. Now, he's being handed the keys to a perennial Super Bowl contender to call plays for a two-time MVP. It's a meteoric rise that honestly feels like something out of a movie. Technically, since Doyle wasn't the primary play caller here in Chicago, the Bears could have put their foot down and blocked this move. But Ben Johnson has been a total class act about the whole situation. He made it clear from day one that he wasn't going to stand in the way of his guys getting a legitimate promotion. Moving from a non-play calling role to being the guy with the headset in Baltimore is a massive step up. Honestly, would you rather be the OC in Philadelphia where the fans start booing if the first drive isn't a touchdown, or in Baltimore where you get to pair up with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry? It's a no-brainer. This is a much safer, high-level job for a young coach because the Ravens are a stable, world-class organization. But let's get to the heart of the matter for us fans. How do we feel about the Ben Johnson effect taking over the league so quickly? Question of the day. On a scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you that our coaching staff is being rated after just one successful season? Drop your number and your reason in the comments below. I want to see if you're as conflicted as I am. It is truly remarkable what Ben Johnson has built here in a single year. He took a franchise that was historically allergic to offense and turned it into a powerhouse. Think about the facts. Doyle was the right-hand man for an offense that finished top 10 across the board this past season. He was instrumental in that playoff run and the development of our young core. The league has noticed that if you've worked under Johnson and Sean Payton, like Doyle has, you've got the magic touch. If this experiment in Baltimore works, Doyle is going to be a head coach by the time he's 32. That is absolutely insane. So, where do the Bears go from here? We aren't just losing an offensive coordinator, we also need a new running backs coach. The internal names for the OC spot are already starting to circulate. You have passing game coordinator Prentice Taylor, who knows the system inside and out. Then there's quarterbacks coach JT Barrett, who has a great rapport with the room. And don't forget Antoine Randall. The man is an associate head coach for a reason and has a Super Bowl pedigree that commands respect. However, there is one external name that keeps popping up, Tanner Engstrand. He spent years with Ben Johnson in Detroit, and was the passing game coordinator there during their explosive 2023 and 2024 seasons. He even had a stint calling plays for the Jets, and let's be honest, you can't blame a guy for what happens with the Jets. Johnson needs someone he can trust implicitly to handle the dirty work, the film study, the cut-ups, and the weekly installs, so he can focus on being the head coach while still calling the plays on Sunday. On the running back front, things are getting interesting too. With the legendary Eric Bieniemy moving on to lead the Kansas City Chiefs offense, there is a massive hole to fill. Reports are suggesting we keep a close eye on Eric Studesville and Duce Staley. Both guys have deep ties to Ben Johnson. Studesville actually coached for the Bears back in the late 90s and worked with Johnson in Miami. Staley was on that Detroit staff during the early Ben Johnson years. Both are absolute veteran pros who would keep our ground game elite. Does losing Doyle suck? Absolutely. It's never fun to lose a bright young mind. But let's look at the silver lining. The Chicago Bears are finally a destination where winners are made. We have a culture that other teams are trying to copy. Ben Johnson is the architect, and as long as he's the one holding the play sheet on game day, we are going to be just fine. He will find a replacement who is hungry, detailed, and ready to keep this momentum rolling into 2026. Look at the bright side. This is the price of success, and for the first time in decades, the Chicago Bears are actually paying it. We are no longer the team scavenged for spare parts. We are the blueprint that the rest of the NFL is scrambling to download. While it's bittersweet to see a brilliant mind like Doyle head to Maryland, it proves that the monsters of the Midway have finally evolved into a modern offensive juggernaut. Ben Johnson has turned this locker room into a literal Ivy League for coaches, and you can bet there is a line of elite candidates out the door just waiting for the chance to work under his wing. We aren't just building a winning season here, we are building a coaching tree that will shade the entire league for years to come. So let Baltimore have their moment of excitement. We have the architect, we have the system, and we have the momentum that isn't stopping for anyone. This isn't a setback. It's a testament to the fact that Chicago is officially the new standard for excellence in professional football. Keep your heads high, Bears fans, because as long as we have this foundation and Johnson is on the sidelines, the sky is the limit. This meteoric rise from the NFL's basement to a top 6 offensive powerhouse in just 1 year is nothing short of a miracle, and the league knows it. Every time a major contender like the Ravens or Eagles comes knocking on our door, it just validates that what we are doing at Hallis Hall is the gold standard. We've gone from being a team that couldn't buy a passing yard to a squad where even the assistants are treated like rock stars. Don't think for a second that Ben Johnson wasn't prepared for this. He knows the Shanahan tree effect better than anyone and likely has a short list of geniuses ready to step in. The culture here is so strong now that the next coordinator won't just be filling a seat, they'll be inheriting a Ferrari with Caleb Williams at the wheel. We are watching the birth of a dynasty, and part of that process is watching our talent spread across the league to try and replicate what we've started. The buzz around this team is at an all-time high, and while the names on the headsets might change, the mission remains exactly the same, bringing a championship back to Chicago. It's a brand new era where the offensive-minded Bears isn't a punchline anymore. It's a reality that is terrifying the rest of the NFC North. Stay locked in and keep that energy up, because the ride is just getting started and the best is yet to come. This transition period is where championships are often won or lost in the boardroom, and Ben Johnson's leadership is about to be tested like never before. It is a high-class problem to have, losing your top lieutenants to the NFL's elite, because it means your system is the one everyone else is trying to emulate. We are no longer the hunters, we are the hunted, and that requires a completely different level of mental toughness and organizational depth. Think about the message this sends to every young, ambitious coach in the country. If you want to become a star, come to Chicago and learn from the best. This vacancy isn't a help wanted sign, it's a golden ticket that will attract the brightest minds in football to our sidelines. The continuity of our vision is stronger than any single assistant coach, and that is why this franchise is finally built to last. Every move we see today, from Doyle's departure to the potential arrival of a veteran like Engstrand or Staley, is a brick in the wall of a new Chicago legacy. We are witnessing the maturation of a professional football team that finally understands how to sustain greatness through change. It's a thrilling, albeit nerve-wracking, time to be a fan, but the results on the field speak for themselves and the future has never looked brighter. So let's keep the conversation going. Do you think an internal promotion like Prentice Taylor is safer? Or should we bring in fresh blood from the outside to keep the ideas flowing? This is the kind of debate we've been waiting to have for 20 years, and it's finally happening because we are a winning organization. The foundation is set, the talent is here, and the mission is clear. We are coming for that trophy and nothing, not even a coaching raid, is going to stand in our way. Who do you think is the best fit to step into that offensive coordinator chair next to Ben Johnson? Let me know your top candidate in the comments right now.